One day, all of our societies will be powered by 100% renewable energy. It is clear that the future of our planet depends on us achieving this feat. However, we face a severe challenge. The energy infrastructure, which we have relied upon for generations, must transform without disrupting supply, shifting power generation towards renewable energy whilst ensuring that the lights stay on. At Wärtsilä, we have been preparing for this moment for decades. Leveraging our deep expertise and power system modeling, we enable customers, cities, and countries to find their optimal future and a future-proof energy mix. We balance the grid with our market-leading flexible power plants, energy storage, and energy management systems while preparing for sustainable fuels that will provide the final push to reach 100% renewable energy future. I'm Håkan Agnevall. I'm the CEO of Wärtsilä, and it's a privilege to be here today and share with you some of our latest thoughts and findings. And today I will show how Germany has the potential to create a greener and less costly power sector and reach net zero far sooner than planned. While my attention will be on Germany, the lessons here are universal. In order to secure a cleaner future, every country around the world must find the right tools to transition power systems smoothly towards renewable energy. Our modeling provides a clear three-step roadmap for Germany, which can be used as a blueprint for countries around the world. First, Germany must rapidly increase renewables in this decade. Second, it must phase out coal by 2030. And third, it should phase out natural gas by 2040, converting the remaining thermal generation to run on sustainable fuels. And I will talk through these different steps. Renewable energy will provide the foundations for net zero. Our modeling is clear. Dramatically expanding renewable capacity is the most important step in the journey towards a sustainable energy sector. But what is more difficult is how to manage the intermittency of the renewable generation. It is very clear that as the most damaging fossil fuel, coal cannot fulfill this purpose. So weaning the world away from coal power is an essential step towards decarbonization of the energy system. Our modeling presents a clear alternative to coal, a short-term gas bridge. The ability to ramp up and down quickly to meet demand makes gas engines the best fit for balancing the intermittency of renewables. What's more, the solution is future-proof. These same power plants can later be converted to run on sustainable fuels. However, we cannot phase out one fossil fuel by simply embedding another. Gas must not be used as a baseload power, and a clear deadline of 2040 should be set to phase out gas of the system. By front-loading the investments into renewable energy and flexible balancing assets, Germany can secure lower energy bills, lower emissions, and reach net zero 5 years ahead of the current targets. By acting decisively now, the opportunities on offer for Germany are significant. So what's the background behind Wärtsilä's logic? Let's look at an overview of some of our modeling results. To To fully understand how quickly we can speed up decarbonization, Wärtsilä has modeled 4 different scenarios as shown in the graphs here. Looking at the graph, we have the share of renewable energy on the x-axis, going from medium, which corresponds to the TSO's grid development plan, to high, which increases the addition of renewables to 19 gigawatts per year. On the y-axis, we have the decarbonization speed with 2 scenarios, net zero in 2045 and in 2040. There are 2 major takeaways. Firstly, speeding up the decarbonization process can reduce emissions significantly compared to Germany's current plan. And secondly, increasing the share of renewable energy is overall less costly, reducing the cost of electricity by 1/3. And we are really excited to see the announcement from the climate minister, Dr. Habeck, last week to fix the drastic deficit in the country's effort to cut emissions. The pledge to double Germany's share of renewable energy in the mix to 80% by 2030 is very much aligned with our supercharged scenario. So now let's take a closer look on what the baseline and supercharged scenarios means for the future of gas generation. First, we look at the roadmap for new gas capacity in Germany from today until 2045. As natural gas generation is required in the short term, investing in new natural gas plants should be allowed until 2030. However, after this point, our model shows that the new capacity should run exclusively on sustainable fuels. These results set a clear roadmap for the transition from natural gas to sustainable fuels in Germany. The results also clearly show that in the supercharged scenario, with more renewable energy, there is no place left for thermal baseload generation. Therefore, Germany should actively promote investments in flexible technologies, such as engines, which can quickly ramp up and down, and energy storage to support the intermittent nature of renewable energy. It's important to note that investments should be made to future-proof assets to ensure that they can be converted to run on sustainable fuels in the future. This prevents flexible technologies from becoming stranded assets. So when should natural gas be phased out? Our analysis shows that it should be around 2040. Let me elaborate further on this by looking at the fuel consumption in the energy sector. In the baseline scenario, with the current pathway of net zero by 2045, Germany can reduce its fuel consumption by 42%. However, in this scenario, the German power system will still be fuel dependent because there is simply not enough renewable energy. However, since Germany will not be in a position to produce enough domestic hydrogen, it will have to rely on imported hydrogen. Therefore, the imported amount is far higher than in other scenarios and almost equal to the amount of coal consumed today. Now, let's look instead at the supercharged scenario. Having rapidly expanded its renewable energy, Germany is able to reduce its fuel consumption by a staggering 83%, as most of the electricity would come from renewable sources. And while hydrogen will play an important role in both scenarios, the supercharged scenario significantly reduced the amount of hydrogen required. Naturally, advancing the net zero date and increasing the amount of renewable energy will have a significant impact on emissions. Overall, these measures result in a total reduction of CO2 emissions by 23% between 2022 and 2045. I would also like to point out that imported electricity also carries a CO2 footprint, even though it's not officially part of the national quota. So for transparency, we have included here in the graph. Perhaps the most striking conclusion from our research is that front-loading the investments in renewable generation and reaching net zero by 2040 could reduce the total cost by 34%. That amounts to 373 billion euros over 23 years, which is about roughly 16 million euro per year. In both scenarios, electricity costs decline up to the point where the system has to start switching to sustainable fuels on a larger scale. This pivot point is the final hurdle to net zero. Our modeling has a clear conclusion. If there is a high share of renewable energy, Germany can significantly reduce the cost of electricity. Therefore, early investments in renewable generation will pay off at a later stage, as the need for imported and expensive hydrogen decreases. In short, the supercharged scenarios make a clear sense for the German power system. From generation, emission, technology, and financial perspective, reaching net zero sooner unlocks huge system-wide benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a pivotal moment for Germany. We stand on the edge of a new sustainable energy era, but there is an essential need for Germany to evaluate its path towards a net zero energy future. Our research shows that by going the extra mile, Germany can front-load net zero and achieve it faster than planned. Wind and solar is, by its nature, intermittent. Therefore, flexible energy capacity will play a vital role to ensure an optimized and reliable power systems. As I presented here today, that role is well served by natural gas. However, if Germany is to unlock the greatest benefits from decarbonization, it must begin the transition to sustainable fuels in the next decade. So, to conclude, we recommend a three-stage plan for Germany. Firstly, rapidly increase renewables, energy storage, and future-proof gas engines in these decades. Secondly, phase out coal by 2030. And thirdly, pivot the sustainable fuels by 2040. This will unlock significant benefits for Germany and inspire other nations to do the same. By creating a blueprint for net zero, we can inspire change around the world. And I want to leave with a final thought that I hope we all share here today. The faster we can reach net zero, the better. Thank you.